Nothing like facing an old enemy, right? The Overflow Extended has the honor of being the first map I've beaten that I previously abandoned because it was too difficult. And I really don't blame myself. That big climb is brutal. As Flex Gaming said in his video, you have to optimize your run through every means necessary in order to get past it. The ending is no slouch either, and the big red rooms aren't without their own annoyances. This is easily one of the hardest maps I've beaten, and it's about time I break this bad boy down. Let's get into it. First thing I want to get out of the way is that this is yet another map with a problematic spawn, and it's the most blatant one so far. That door you run out of, it's on the opposite side of where you're facing when the map loads, so be prepared to do a quick 180. So when you do run out, jump across the gap in the pipes, not the trusses. This way is much more consistent and every split second here counts. Simply run off the truss onto the little perch, then head into the next room. Jump off the first box onto the truss and climb up, then jump across the gap to the button. Flick 90 degrees left, or more in my case, run across the truss and drop into the vent. The little boost you get from dropping in is necessary. Again, every split second counts. Swim along this pathway like so and be quick. The water will become acid at around 18 seconds and you'll want to exit the room before it happens. Head into the next room and wall jump. I prefer to backpedal towards the button since it reduces camera movement. Jump around the wall and this truss here can be a nuisance. The button's a bit far out so your timing needs to be solid, not helped by the truss's wonky physics. Climb onto the truss then jump right at the edge. This all happens extremely quickly, but again, you're on a time crunch as heavy as a mass damper ball. Alright ladies and gentlemen, here we are. By far the hardest part of the map, so I hope you're all ready. Jump up the ladder and you'll be faced with what I like to call a DSF jump. That stands for Dark Side Facility for those who don't play FE2. Pay attention to your Robloxian's position and jump as far out as you can and make sure you don't scrape the wall. There are other ways to do this that are probably better for most people, but again, this is just preference. Jump your way to the next button and make sure you don't hit your head, or do this. Jump on these boxes to get over this gap, another fairly big jump. Use the box to get up this wall and don't jump too close. Jump to the end of the frame here, careful not to overshoot it. Then jump onto the box here to save time, and try not to hit your head on the sign. Make your way across these pipes, and this truss climb here is actually kinda hard to fail. But as a safety precaution, try to jump so that you hit the truss just before the gap. Besides that, I just rarely die to this. Now comes the main part of the climb that drove me nuts. You gotta jump on these tiny ledges while moving back and forth sideways with some boxes up top that can easily disrupt your maneuvers. And did I mention you gotta do this fast? What you'll want to do is establish a rhythm with your jumps and movements in a way that's fast enough for you to reach the button in time, obviously, but just slow enough that you can prepare the next jump. Yes, despite how much I've been stressing the flood rate of this map, there is in fact breathing room in this climb. It's just so little that you don't notice it when watching the run. About 1/5 of a second should be enough time for you to calculate each following jump. The part that follows is also really awkward. You must jump off this barrier to clear this wall jump that will end your run if you cling to it. Jump onto the boxes and get onto the top of the barrier, then jump from around here and strafe around the edge into the truss. Honestly, anywhere along the barrier works as long as you can get across. By the way, on very rare occasions, I was able to jump up to the top of this bit sticking out and save about a half second. Do not rely on this. This is very precise and is not worth saving less than a second. Unless you're trying to speedrun, always choose consistency over speed whenever it's an option. Hit the button on the right and don't miss it like a fool. And now comes another annoying bit. I can't tell you how many times I jumped too early on the top of this wall. It's a deceptively long jump, all because of the jump wall that's occupying it. So jump onto the light, or whatever you want to call this ledge, slide across to the left until you're between the jump walls, jump your way up, and when you're at the top, don't jump immediately. If you're even a little bit early, you will cling to the jump wall. Run for a split second, then jump and you should make it. Alright, you're at the top, only 3 buttons left. Jump around the wall to get to the button and be very careful of this hinge. The dropping platform can easily drag down your jump. My idea is to wait until it's completely down for the first time, which is a time loss of like a split second, or you could just YOLO it with a perfect jump. Jump around the wall again, and if everything up to this point has gone well enough, you'll reach the button in time. Wait for the lava to descend, then jump down when it's just above the button below. Once you see the vent, run down and... oh. Well, pray that never happens, and you're there! Congratulations, you're officially on your way to beating this hard-ass map. There's still a couple major obstacles along the way, but we'll cross those bridges when we get there. Or jump those gaps? I don't know. First, you must navigate this painfully tight vent. Watch the lights as you run along and jump as soon as you're under the upper passage. Run across and stop just as you drop back down to avoid the jump wall. When you're entering this room, it's possible to land on top of these boxes. If that doesn't work out though, just jump around them to get the button. Don't worry if you struggle a little bit. The flood in this room is very lenient, if only because of the shortcut. Get back out and jump to the button here, then get off the platform quickly before it gives way. Wait for the lava to descend, then jump onto the pipe, and now... this jump is so dumb. So, important piece of info. You cannot avoid the jump wall if you're aiming for the front. You have to go up the side. And even then the jump wall is hard to avoid. So here's how you do it. Position yourself carefully. Jump too far forward and you'll miss. Then make sure you hit right in the middle of the exposed area and try not to sway away as you climb. Disengage just before you reach the top and land on the platform. Like I said, this jump is really finicky, and it will end your run every now and then. Continue through this short vent and careful not to fall off the end. Run along the guardrail, and once you're aligned with the box down there, prepare yourself, then jump down. Head down the path to the next button, and this bit, you can get the button and the gap with just one jump. Sometimes I don't though, when I'm feeling more cautious. Not that it matters though, you've got seconds to spare. Head into the passage and wait for the door to open. Great, you're almost there. Just one room and a hallway remain in your way. Once the door opens, make your way along the path to the button and do it fast. Run near the button and jump when you're close enough to make it to the end of the newly formed gap. Continue along the pathway and avoid the jump walls. Wait until you move up the truss ladder, then turn away. Go up the next one and move towards the button when you reach the top. The truss will extend, so continue up and make sure you don't hit your head on the platform above. Jump up to the pipe and again, avoid the jump wall. Land on the frame up top, then jump across to the bridge and head into the hallway. Hit the button, wait for the near invisible barrier to disappear, go forward and jump onto the containers to get over the second barrier, and now, these last 3 jumps. I will say that, in hindsight, these are probably not all that hard. When you figure them out anyway. The thing is, they're at the very end of a long and hard map, so you have practically no time to learn them. That said, these only took me about 3 or so tries, but I digress. Position yourself about here, make sure mouse lock is enabled, give yourself about a half second, then run and jump around and hold W when you're about halfway across the first 2 jumps. And just like the last climb in Focus, pace yourself so you can prepare for the oncoming jumps while outrunning the lava wall that's quickly closing in. If you do all this correctly, you win. Man, this map was a chore. Not just to beat, but to break down as well. That climb alone took me a good 3 minutes to cover. Hopefully this will be the longest episode for a while to come, assuming I pick my next targets wisely. So in the meantime, I hope this breakdown helps you in your endeavors in this long, treacherous, unforgiving map. So until next time, Baneworth out.